I spent a morning trying to work out which AI voice tool is expensive. And I gave up. Every price is public. ElevenLabs, Hume, Cartesia, OpenAI, and Descript all publish theirs right there on the page. No sales call, no demo form. The problem is that ElevenLabs sells you credits. Hume sells you characters. Cartesia sells you a credit that spends 3 different ways. And OpenAI charges per million characters with no monthly plan behind it at all. Descript does something stranger than all of them, which we will get to, because Descript prices its voice feature at a number it declines to print anywhere. So when a friend asks you which one is cheap, the honest answer is that these pages are built in a way that stops you answering. I converted all of them into one number instead. What 10 minutes of finished narration costs. And the gap between the cheapest and the most expensive came out around 7 to 1. Start with the company you have already heard of, because it demonstrates the problem inside a single product. ElevenLabs will sell you the creator plan for $22 a month. Their pricing page tells you that buys 121,000 credits. Credits. Credits are a unit that exists only inside ElevenLabs, and they will not convert into anything you can shop with. That number tells you how much ElevenLabs you own, and how long your audio can run stays a separate question. Now, click through to the API pricing page. Same company, same $22 plan, and that page describes it as 220,000 characters. One product, 2 units, 2 pages, and the minute count you came for stays off both of them. Every company here does a version of this. ElevenLabs is the clearest case, coming from the company most people buy from. One more thing worth knowing before you commit. Their most expressive model caps a single request at 5,000 characters. So a script this length has to go through in chunks whatever plan you are on. To compare any of this, I had to build the unit all of them refuse to print. The arithmetic is on screen, and you should argue with it if you think I picked wrong. 10 minutes of narration at 150 words a minute is 1,500 words. 1,500 words at 5.3 characters each, once you count the spaces, lands at 8,000 characters. That is the yardstick for the rest of this video. That is an estimate built on assumptions I chose. Your delivery might run faster. Your script might use longer words. But the assumptions got applied to every company identically, which is what makes the comparison fair even if the absolute figures drift. So I ran that same script through all of them on paper. One 10-minute narration, 5 different companies, and these are the bills. OpenAI's text-to-speech charges $15 per million characters, which puts that script at 12 cents. Cartesia works out at 38 cents. ElevenLabs on their faster model is 40. And then Hume and ElevenLabs on their expressive models land in exactly the same place, 80 cents each, because both work out at a dime per 1,000 characters. 12 cents against 80 for a job that is word for word identical, from companies that have all stayed silent on whose file sounds better. 12 cents sounds like it ends the video, until you look at what sits behind that price. OpenAI's price lives on a developer pricing page, which explains everything else about it. The page gives you an endpoint and a rate, then stops. There is no web app to log into, and no voice library to browse. Everything a subscription would wrap around, that lives somewhere else. You are buying an interface for code, which means somebody has to write the script into a request, chunk it up, catch the failures, and stitch the audio back together. If you are already a developer, that is a Tuesday afternoon. If you are a creator who wants to paste a script into a box and get a finished file back, that saving is theoretical. While we are in the developer pricing, the transcription side is cheap by comparison. Whisper runs at 0.6 of a cent per minute, which is worth knowing because you will want captions on whatever you narrate. 2 companies here do the obvious thing and put minutes on the page, which deserves saying out loud because it solves everything I have been complaining about. Hume publishes character counts with a minute figure sitting right next to them. Their creator tier gives 140,000 characters, and beside it, in Hume's own estimate, about 140 minutes. Cartesia does the same thing. Their $5 tier carries 100,000 credits, which they estimate at 133 minutes of speech. The Cartesia number carries a catch that matters, though. That credit pool is shared. The same credits pay for text-to-speech, for transcription, and for voice agents. So 133 minutes is the ceiling if narration is the only thing you ever spend them on. Most people building with Cartesia are not spending them on narration alone. Something else worth catching before you put a card in. Two of these companies are showing you a promotional number where the standing price should be. ElevenLabs Creator advertises $11, which is half off the first month. The price you will pay from month 2 is $22. Hume Creator shows $7 against a regular $14. Both are legitimate offers, and both are easy to read as the standing rate, which is how you end up budgeting a year at half of what the year costs. Descript is confusing in a different way. Descript is a video editor with speech built in, and on annual billing, it runs $16 for hobbyist, $24 for creator, and $50 for business. Clear enough. But look at what the speech features say by tier. The cheaper plans get limited text-to-speech, limited regeneration, limited custom voice clones. Limited to what? Every tier says limited, and every tier stops there. I could not find the figure anywhere on their pricing page. Guessing it on camera is not something this channel does, so it stays absent here rather than getting a number I invented, which also leaves Descript off the price per minute chart. You cannot put a company on a cost per minute list when it has never published a quantity, and Descript has kept theirs private. And that is fine, as long as you know what you are buying. Descript competes on the editing app, where the AI voice sits alongside the timeline and the transcript and the screen recorder. Speechify deserves its own beat because it is the name a lot of you thought of when this video started. Speechify Premium is $29 a month, and the feature list is long. Over 1,000 voices, 60+ languages, playback up to 5 times speed, scan a page and listen to it, summaries, voice typing. Now read that list again and notice what every single item is for. Consuming text, faster reading, listening to documents, getting through a PDF on a walk. That is a reading tool, a good one, aimed at getting text into your ears. It was never built to produce narration for something you publish. Speechify does sell a separate studio product aimed at creators. Its pricing page returned a $404 when I went looking, so Studio stays unpriced here, and the blogs guessing at it can keep their guesses. One thing got left out of this video on purpose, probably the thing you wanted most. I have not ranked these on which one sounds more human. For AI images, there are public arenas where thousands of strangers blind compare outputs, and a ranking falls out of it. No equivalent exists for voice, or nothing I would put on screen. So anybody handing you a most natural-sounding leaderboard is handing you their own ears with a chart drawn around them, and mine are no better than yours. What I can do is tell you what each one costs and what each one is for, which turns out to settle the decision more often than the voice does. The mistake is shopping for a voice. These are different products wearing the same label, and once you know which kind you need, the choice mostly makes itself. If you want a meter, you paste a script and you want finished narration. Hume and Cartesia are the two that will tell you how many minutes you are buying. And ElevenLabs is where you go when you want the voice library and the cloning ladder, and you accept paying at the top of this range for it. If you write code and you are doing volume, the OpenAI API is a fraction of the price of everything else on this list, and you will earn every cent of that saving back in plumbing. If the voice is one step inside making a video, buy Descript and stop comparing cents. And if you mostly want to listen to things rather than publish them, Speechify was never in this race. So pick the category, then pick the tool. This is hard because each company picked the unit that flatters what it sells, and a number that lets you line them up would serve nobody who sells one. So do the 8,000 character maths yourself before you subscribe to any of them. 2 minutes on a calculator will tell you whether the tool you were about to buy costs several times the one next to it. So that's the verdict. Pick the tool that wins at the one thing you do all day, and skip the rest. If this saved you money, subscribe. The next verdict drops next week.